Hey everybody, Eddie J on crypto. It's been a crazy day. We're going to start and get into it real fast. So, popular sidechain Ronin Bridge was hacked for over $600 million. They took some wrapped ether and some straight up USDC, which is obviously a stable coin. That's a pretty hefty amount. We'll dig into that one. On the heels of its FIFA deal, Crypto.com has teamed with UK sports company Fnatic, and that happened last year. But as a result of that, they're introducing a new membership program with 3 tiers that is going to bridge, unbuyable services, both digital and real world. So we'll dig into that one a little bit. Shiba Inu team. That team is teasing everybody. Apparently, they're going to have some news tomorrow. We're probably going to see some movement. We saw movement in Shiba Inu today. Popped up, came back down. Not that far back down, just a little slight correction because I think everybody's gearing up for the news that's going to hit tomorrow. Mastercard, in a nice little move in Australia, has teamed up with BTC Markets, which is a centralized exchange out in Australia. They're going to enable people to purchase cryptos on that platform via debit card, credit card, or prepaid cards. So that's actually a big deal. Now, BTC Markets isn't huge, but we'll dig into that too. Vietnam is making serious headway in terms of creating a regulatory framework for crypto. They've been crypto curious for a while. What is it? 6% of their population is actually holding crypto, which makes it the 10th largest in the world based on percentage. So that's kind of a big deal. Anyway, we'll get into all of this. I mean, there's just a lot to kind of unpack. So let's just get to the notes. All right. So Ronin Bridge, 600 mil, over 600 million, right? Basically, let me just look at my notes. They were able to get over $597 million in wrapped Ethereum and another $26 million in USDC. Wow. I mean, just the amount of money they got in USDC, okay, that would be enough, right? Apparently not. So it's kind of crazy. USDC, they'd be able to do a lot of things that wrapped Ethereum. So I'm interested to find out how they're gonna figure this all out. Apparently, the way they were able to get in was you have to have five validator signatures in order for a transaction to happen. Well, they got 4 controlled by Ronin Bridge, right? So they took over 4 validators from Ronin Bridge and 1 from Axie Infinity. And let that wash over you. You need 5 signatures. They were able to take control of 5 validators, 4 from here, 1 from there, and handle all of the transactions using private keys. That's big. So the response in the report, is that Ronin Bridge is going to up the number from 5 validators to 8. I think that's a temporary stopgap, right? It's very temporary because if they got control of 4, how did they get control of those 4 on that platform and then turn around to Axie Infinity and get control of 1 over there? So hopefully they can figure that one out because that's the real question because they have control of 5 right now. Who's to say they can't get control of more? Now, mind you, the actual event took place on March 23rd. They just found out today. So look at that look at that, how many days of a lead that is. That's what, 6 days of a lead. That's huge. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. But, it's not a minor side chain. They're best known to be tied to Axie Infinity, as you know, one of the biggest gaming platforms out there. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, obviously, Ronin Bridge went down a little bit Axie Infinity really didn't feel that much of a hit, right? They had gone down a bit, but they've come back. So now the difference is 2%, and I have that 5% rule. So really not much of a hit. Now, good news for Shiba Inu, or, Shiba, what is it? The Shib Universe? I guess I'm in it. That's not the real name of it, but they asked the Shiba Inu community, or teased the Shiba Inu community, that there's going to be news coming out tomorrow. And they did that on their Twitter page. So I went and I looked at it, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, oh, that's interesting. What's that thing? So they have an emoji there. It's a map emoji. So that leads me to believe there's going to be some juicy news about Shibverse tomorrow at some point. And I think that when that news hits, there'll be a nice strong pop. I think there'll be a pop off of that news. It'll drop back down a little bit as people, take profit, and then it'll kind of settle. But I think it'll settle at a higher place than where it is right now. So I think that's going to be great. Mastercard. Now, BTC Markets is a smaller platform in the world. They're ranked 88th. And that's actually saying a lot, considering you've got Binance, FTX, Coinbase. Those are the big ones out there in the world. BTC Markets is pretty small, right? But this small centralized exchange is going to make inroads. And I think the reason why is because if you can have your customers have the ability to make purchases via prepaid cards, debit cards, and credit cards on your exchange, that's kind of a big deal. So that it puts BTC Markets, bumps them up a little bit in terms of, the services that they would be able to provide. It also gives Mastercard a kind of feel for what's going on. So I think that's going to be really slick. They'll probably pick up a lot of people that are going to be able to do that, because it's basically a fiat on-ramp, right? Using one of those cards, I can go get a prepaid card and bink, go buy whatever it is I want to buy. That's going to be a very, very, very big deal. So I'm very interested to see how that plays out over time. If you are curious, Vietnam has been a place where they've been seriously interested in crypto. 6% of their 6 million people population is holding crypto. So they're trying to create a framework that will enable, better regulation around crypto. They are crypto friendly as a country. So they've got a lot of gaming startups that are popping up over there. Even Axie Infinity has its origins in Vietnam. So I think that's going to be a very big deal. They're also, okay with, hey, come here and do mining. So that's going to be a big deal. Big news for me was, I've been looking at crypto.com, right? And when I look at them, I'm kind of like, they're not really all that big, but they are global. And they're making inroads in different places, just like Coinbase yesterday. These guys are trying to make inroads. Well, on the heels of their FIFA deal, they cut that deal with Fnatic. And I think that's going to be sweet, right? Because if you're creating a program that will enable 3 tiers of, membership, that will enable you to enjoy different digital products and services, live events, those kinds of things, just taking the digital and mixing it with the world and offering it in a way that you can only get this if you're involved in this membership. That's kind of a big deal. That's very much a big deal. I remember a few weeks ago, I did a report on a restaurant in New York that's basically doing the same thing. You have to be holding an NFT to get in the door. Well, that's just a membership thing, but these guys are offering a 3-tiered membership. And I'm going to be very interested to see how that plays out, because esports is a growing space. It's a growing space. There are even some colleges in the United States that have scholarships for people studying esports. Right? Crazy. I think that's going to I think that particular space is actually going to grow. I really do. It's not just about gaming with gaming consoles and all that stuff, but esports. And imagine what happens when you see more gaming happening, you know, in the metaverse than even on desktops and things like that, or they grow together. I told you a couple of days ago how there's a company that's kind of creating a bridge between Minecraft and itself, and you'd be able to play in both spaces and transfer things, making it interoperable. It's going to be really, really big. Really big. I think that space is going to grow. It's just a matter of, okay, when does it grow? We have the stupid war, you know, because of Russia. That's a macro event. And mind you, I think that when the war is over, positive things are going to happen. But remember, there are probably going to still be sanctions against Russia. So it's going to be a little while before things kind of really smooth out. But I think as everything starts to smooth out, you're going to see big pops and big gains all over the place in the crypto space. Anyway, let's get to some numbers because a lot of stuff is going on. I've actually been happy about what's going on with the numbers. So let's start where we normally start, looking at the positives and negatives. And I told you about Ronin. Here we are. They've taken a 21% hit. You know, to be expected. You got hacked. $600 million is gone plus. Let's see, look down, decentralized social, looked into that space. Not really impressed with what they're trying to do. So doesn't mean anything to me, but you know, they're ranked 175. So they're in the top 250 coins that are out there. You know, they are something. Just curious to see what their cap is. 480 million, less than half a billion. So I'm not really in the caring mood about them. Who else is in here that I was looking at? Here's Axie Infinity. They dropped since I started the video. They dropped another 3%, but still they're only at 5% of a hit. And clearly, Axie Infinity is going to come back. So to me, when I look at this, if they were to hit above 5, I would say, you know, that would be an interesting purchase. But again, at 63 beans, that's not going to be my first choice. My first choice is always going to be something that I believe is going to do well, right? Or has a track record of doing well, but costs significantly less. I'm looking for that because I don't mind growing by percentage. I just prefer to grow on multiple. It's just me, but you know, you figure, you know, I'm playing in this game and that's the rule I live by at the moment. Looking at the rest of it, you know, I'm looking at UFO gaming, you know, 3%, that's nothing. Let's look at the winners. And you start at the top, Aave doing big things. Look at that jump, 30%. What? Yeah, 30%. Makes you choke on it a little bit. Pocket Network, they're going to wind up being possibly a 27%. Wow. They're possibly going to wind up being connective tissue, right? As they grow as a side chain. I think that's going to be big. Actually, they don't grow as a side chain, but you can use them to get to other chains and things like that. So that's connective tissue. And at $1.20, that's an interesting purchase. They're just basically, I'd call this just at $1 billion. So you have the coins that are below $1 billion in market cap. Then you have the 1 to 2, and then you have the 2 and beyond, right? It's really hard to get to 1. I think for some coins, it's even harder to get to 2. And once you get to 2, you're kind of established. People kind of feeling it. It's not going to be a rug pull. It's a real deal thing. They got real volume. You got real ranking. People have their eyes on you. I think that's a big deal. But even with these numbers, I mean, look at these numbers. Even with those numbers, Aave, 67% off their high. Pocket Network, 61% off their high. To me, those look like opportunities. I mean, I'm not jumping into Aave, right? Clearly at $219, not my thing. Not my thing. Do I think they have strong growth? Of course. Just look at where they are from their high. Still not my thing. Still a little rich for me. But because with that same amount of money, I'm not that far off in possible percentage gain, and look at their high. So for $1.20, I can look at that kind of growth and say, you know what, I can get the same kind of deal from over here. That's probably what my play would be. Let's go down the list. Chili's doing well, 30 cents, 16% gain, over almost 17% gain. Look at that. 67% off their high, and that is looking at 30 cents. So even though, you know, $1.21 is good, I'm looking at Chili's and I'm going, well, geez, at 30 cents, I can put possibly good money, put the same amount of money in this, get the same thing, experience a little bit less risk, most likely. I just like the idea that, Chili's is doing something. They got a strong network, a strong project. I'm interested in what they're doing. I still have to do more research, but that's probably how I would go, because over time, if I really believe in this, over time, I believe that I would wind up gaining multiples. Now, how will I be looking at how old is this coin? What's its all-time high? When did it hit its all-time high? Why did it hit its all-time high? What kind of partnerships or deals do I think they're going to wind up having? Who else are they working with already? That's what I would be looking at when I start looking into, the scalability of this project and who's working with it, who's using it, what's their utility, all those kinds of things. Waves at 13%. I mean, these are really good ideas. Loop Ring, even though it's up 12%, am I going to buy into Loop Ring? No, I'm not. I'm really not. If I could get options on Loop Ring, I get a put, right? Because I just think that Immutable X is going to take that business away from them, and then they're going to tank. So I think this rise for them is temporary, even though you see 66% here. They've got to show me something. They've got to show me something. I'm just not seeing it. I have not a lot of belief in them. I'd have to see that they have something else going on, because I think they've already lost GameStop. I think GameStop is already moving over to Immutable X. Loop Ring done. So what else are they doing? If they're only clawing on to this, how long is that going to last is going to be my question, right? Terra Luna, wow, up 10%, up 9%, right? That's actually a big move. You have a few movers that have happened today, and you'll see it when we get to the list. Let's get to the next one. So Bitcoin still, so it made it, again, stair stepping up. It's got a range, and it's hovering at a range, popping up, hovering at a range, popping up. That's stair stepping. And I just like the way it's stair stepping. It did hit 48, I believe, today. So that's a big deal. But right now, I think it's in a good place. I think more things are going to wind up happening, but whatever happens. Today's fear and greed index, we're down from 60. We're at 56 right now. That actually says a lot, that you're down from 60. What does it say? A lot of, well, there's a little bit of pullback. I don't know that that's, headed toward fear, but I think there's a little bit of pullback. And I think the pullback is from people wanting to take profits. You also have a lot of people that got liquidated because the market went up. So, oops, don't put yourself in a position where you're going to wind up getting liquidated. Look at all these moves. Have you seen Terra Luna? They were up earlier. They were up as high as 109. I think they were even higher than that today. So these are big deals. And again, most of these coins are nowhere near their all-time highs that I got. Most of them got there, late last year, December timeframe, November, December timeframe. So that's going to be a very big deal as you continue looking forward at these particular coins. ADA, Cardano. Told you about Cardano, right? Told you about Cardano when they were below $1. Now they're strongly up, right? At some point, they were up high enough to hit $40 billion. On this list, I'll show you that when they hit that $40 billion mark, they passed Solana. They bunny hopped Solana, and for a little bit, they had bunny hop Luna. Look at that. Look how close they are in terms of market cap as to where they are. Look at how close they are to being able to flip XRP. That's Ripple. So Cardano is making big moves, really big moves. Look at how much they're up. Look at how much Terra Luna is up. And I believe in Terra Luna. Luna's doing some stuff. I think that's going to be a very big deal. But when I look at Cardano as, a layer one and all the things that they have going on with a hell of a lot more gas in the tank, I believe that they're actually going to be moving. Something that I'm not sleeping on is, you got to call out Doge. Technically I still hold some Doge, but not enough for me to I'm going to retire. But we do hold a little bit of Doge. Look at these numbers, up almost 16% in the past 30 days, over 16% in the past 7 days. They're outdoing it when you compare them to SHIB. Doge is ranked number 12. SHIB is ranked number 15. I just think, again, there's far more utility with Shiba Inu than there is with Doge. I just believe in that. Matic, don't sleep on Matic. Wow, they're making moves as well. You know, in the past 7 days, up 10%, 30 days, 15%, and basically, you know, even for the past 24 hours. But Matic is making moves, big moves. Crypto.com, I don't know why they're called Kronos, but it's Crypto.com. That's their coin. The coin is, I guess their coin is called Kronos and Crow. It used to be Crypto.com and now it's just CRO. Ugly, they should have stuck with it. But at 48 cents, they're making moves. So when I look at these coins, I'm still looking at major upside for a lot of these projects, right? Again, what I want you to do is the same way I do. Go do your own research. It's good to get information from different sources, but again, you're gathering that information so that you can make sound decisions. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. I hope I'm helpful to you. Do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and definitely hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm dropping another video. Have a great day.